Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. Eric smoked us up before we left. I was just getting in the mood. Going to see the Grateful Dead. A styrofoam cooler full of food. The war on drugs was heating up. At Windsor the guards just waved us through. In Detroit they checked ID and checked us out. An old van full of stoners was nothing new. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. We drove through Michigan into the night and found a campground with open gates. Eloisa was the only one not sleeping. She said to park down by the little lake. Before the sun was up, I took a wander through the misty dawn to look around. The office wouldn't open for a couple of hours, so I figured we ought to just head on out. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. Coming into Chicago, Eloisa put on Led Zeppelin. When the levee breaks was in our heads. She promised her dad she'd pick up some whiskey at the world's largest liquor store. Aisles and aisles of crates of bottles stacked up high above our heads, where Al Capone once waged his battles, filling gangsters up with lead. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. We drove all that day up through dairy country. Just stopped to buy tortillas, veggies and cheese. Eloisa would be making quesadillas on my Coleman stove in the evening breeze. Of all the vans there, ours was different. stoner's pop top lifted straight up. In a sea of red, brown, yellow, and orange, the sky blue sides of that tent sure stood out. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. Eric and Andrew went off to buy some acid. Jane and Eloisa sat around and gawked at boys. Marnie set up her pup tent on the sliding door side. I wandered off by myself. Down the hill to the left of the band shell, I passed a black guy with a big sports bag. He muttered weed, hash, acid, X, and cocaine. I turned when he said, opium. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. 3 sunny days and every night a concert. I spent 2 afternoons staring up at clouds. On Shakedown Street I sold my last 2 sickly sweet smelling grands to a guy who heard opium and turned around. I'd had enough of that quad that dealer had sold me. That little stone pipe I'd bought had burnt my lips. Carefree was turning to careless far too quickly. I didn't need medicine to make me sick. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. The last night it rained on a muddy morning. We drove off, leaving Marnie's tent behind. She'd joined another caravan, or so Jane told me. How she would get home never crossed my mind. When the sun came out, we hit a roadside diner and hung our wet clothes out on every door. Faded Levi's, cotton skirts, and tie-dyed t-shirts were something that state trooper had seen before. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. When Eloisa strolled back from the bathroom and sat down asking Eric about the weed, gasped and whispered, "Wheezy, look behind you." The trooper didn't bat an eye. We let out our breaths and paid the waitress. It was time to get back on the road. We drove straight through to a Best Western. Jane and I paid for a queen-size bed. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed. Eric and Andrew still had an ounce of weed. We were crossing back to Canada the next day. The three of us sat in a gully trying to smoke it all. Then crashed out on the floor. Jane and Anna Louisa woke up from their beauty sleep. We all piled back into the van. At Windsor, it was emptied out and carefully examined. But they never asked to check what we had on. Sometimes you know just what you need. It's yours without a second thought. Familiar comfort instead of speed.